The Democrats and the Republicans are two cheeks of the same ass. The quality of leadership on offer in both parties is so bad that probably none of the above would be the winning party in a fair election in the United States. How long are they going to continue this farce of two cheeks of the same ass pretending to fight together, but they clap in the same direction?
Oh, that's a beautiful description.
Hey everyone, welcome back. I've got to tell you about this fascinating chat between George Galloway and Dan Bilzerian. It's one of those incredible times when individuals from completely different spheres find common ground on a major issue in American politics. They make the case that despite all the left-right battles splashed across the TV screens, both political parties seem to always line up when it comes to war budgets, foreign influences, and the powers of elite interest behind the scenes. Different faces, different catchphrases, but the same result. What makes this discussion even more gripping is that more and more Americans are starting to wonder if the political system is genuinely benefiting ordinary citizens anymore. This debate is a real hot-button topic, and whether you agree with their points or not, they're certainly echoing what a lot of people are already pondering. But before we dive deeper, hit that subscribe button to help support the channel. I'm aiming to hit 1,000 subscribers by the week's end, so every subscription truly counts. Let's get started.
Points in a minute, but it would be fair to say that if any religious group, if any group who call themselves an ethnicity, it's not something I myself accept, has taken over America, it sure ain't Muslims. It's the American Israel Public Affairs Committee that has bought 93 out of 100 U.S. senators. It's the pro-Israel lobby, not just, of course, Jews, but evangelical Christians in their millions that have a total stranglehold on American politics. In fact, the least powerful group in America are American Muslims.
Yes, correct. I mean, they're underrepresented. You see there's, 3 or 4 Muslims in Congress and there's 36 Jews. And the problem is not that they're Jews. The problem is that anybody that's Jewish can today or tomorrow immediately get citizenship in Israel and flee there if they molest children or do whatever they want to do. And you clearly see that that's shaping our foreign policy. It's not the Muslims that are in office. We have this unhealthy allegiance to Israel, and we are doing, their work at our detriment. And so there's clearly a problem, and it's a problem that the moment you discuss it, as you probably well know, I mean, being one of the OGs of this topic, you get ostracized, you get, canceled, debanked, deplatformed, whatever. And so it's something that needed to be addressed, and it was something that I felt like a lot of people believed, but nobody wanted to talk about it. So that's why I felt obligated to come forward and, say something.
Florida's going to be a tough wicket, though, isn't it? Woody Allen called it Jewish heaven. It's a tough place to fight your particular battle.
Yes, no, it is. I mean, and it's also District 6 is the people that vote for the primary are 70% 55 and older. So it's going to be a tough demographic. It's a tough race, but I feel like he needs to be unseated, and I feel like I'm probably one of the most likely people to be able to do it. I mean, nobody else is stepping up. Obviously, if Thomas Massey lived there and he wanted to go do it, I'd be cheering him on. I mean, the last thing I want to do is run for Congress or be in government, but somebody, needs to stop this guy. I mean, he's just, to me, I feel like he's a terrorist. I think he should be hanged for treason.
Well, either that or dropped out of one of these B-2 bombers. He would make quite a mess when he landed. The situation in Washington is going from bad to worse, isn't it? The Democrats and the Republicans are two cheeks of the same ass. The quality of leadership on offer in both parties is so bad that probably none of the above would be the winning party in a fair election in the United States. How long are they going to continue this farce of two cheeks of the same ass pretending to fight together, but they clap in the same direction?
Oh, that's a beautiful description. I've heard the two heads of the same bird, but I much prefer your analogy. I couldn't agree more. I think you see it. I mean, it's like they can't agree on anything except for support of Israel. They can't agree on anything except for the things that the right and the left population agree on. They just agree in the opposite direction, right? Like everybody in America does not want to fund Israel. Everybody in America does not want to be in this Iran war. Everybody in America did not want to fund Ukraine, right? But somehow the government officials all agree on the other side. So I think you clearly have corruption. I don't think that you have a government that is working in the best interest of the people or representing the people. And that's what needs to really change.
And Trump is now falling out with everyone. There's almost no one left to fall out with. He's fallen out with Meloni today, sharp exchanges across the ocean with the Italian Prime Minister. He's fallen out with the Pope. We've got J.D. Vance, a convert of only 6 years, standing, lecturing the Pope on theological matters. The white working class, bedrock of Donald Trump's MAGA base, has not just fallen out of love with him, but is now positively against him by a considerable distance. The progress that he made amongst black voters, Latino voters, Asian voters has gone into reverse. It's hard to see who, other than the Israel zealots, Jewish and Christian, who is still supporting Donald Trump.
I totally agree, and I think it's just been a complete farce. He's sold out the country. He's lied to us so many times, and then he's attacked everybody. I mean, who hasn't he attacked? To your point, I mean, he's attacked the Pope. He's posted himself as Jesus Christ. He's attacked all of his initial supporters: Candace Owens, Tucker, Alex. All these people. So yeah, I feel like his base is disintegrating. It's impossible to defend him. Not that I was a defender of him. In fact, before 2024, I told people not to vote for him. Not that I was a big fan of Kamala Harris, but I just felt like he was an absolute disaster, and I felt like his base was kind of cult-like, and they would blindly follow him a lot further than they would Kamala. Not saying that we should have elected her. I think she was a dumpster fire as well. But that's kind of the problem, right, is you just never have a good option. Right? We had Biden, Trump, Kamala Harris. You know what I mean? It's just like it's bad to worse every time. And that's really the problem in our country is I feel like nobody gets to that position unless they have some serious control and blackmail over that politician. And you see it because they all do the same thing. To your point, it doesn't matter if they're left. It doesn't matter if they're right. It's just blind support of Israel to the detriment of our country, and it needs to stop.
Well, for the first time, we've got a majority of people in America who tell pollsters that they agree with that. I personally never thought that day would come, but it has come now. Unfortunately, a lot of people had to leave their guts on the ground.
Honestly, folks, after taking in that entire back and forth from start to finish, it's clear that what really makes this dialogue resonate isn't even purely the points being debated. It's the underlying sentiment. Because when you peel away the personalities, the debates, the outrage, and the viral drama, you're left with a discourse about trust, more precisely, the erosion of trust. And I believe that's something many Americans are quietly grappling with these days. Increasingly, people are eyeing political bodies, mainstream media, large corporations, and even elected officials with mounting skepticism. It's not that everyone suddenly became radical overnight. Rather, over time, people began noticing what appears to be an ever-growing chasm between the desires of average citizens and the actions taken by governments. This disconnect is perilous. It's because when people continuously vote for change, yet feel that the same results emerge regardless of who's in power, a latent frustration begins to simmer. Frustration eventually turns into cynicism, and cynicism into distrust. And once distrust hits a critical point, folks stop believing that the system truly represents them. That's the emotional core of the conversation between George Galloway and Dan Bilzerian. You can hear it in how they talk. There's a pervasive belief that politics has become a mere performance, like the public constantly watches politicians yelling at each other on TV while, in private, certain powerful interests keep securing exactly what they want, regardless of which party holds power. For many viewers, this perception is harder to ignore, especially for the younger generations who have grown up amidst endless wars, economic turmoil, crushing debt, skyrocketing rents, and political upheaval. Many young Americans gaze around and feel like they've inherited a system that demands relentless sacrifice from ordinary people, while those at the top keep thriving no matter what happens. So when politicians start discussing patriotism, foreign interventions, or economic recovery, a lot of citizens are now posing this tough question: who is this system truly serving? And as soon as people begin to ask that question seriously, politics shifts entirely, because they aren't just debating policies anymore. They're scrutinizing the very structure itself. That's why dialogues like this are spreading so rapidly online now. A decade ago, such a discussion might have immediately been brushed off by most. But in today's climate, where public trust has so diminished, even those who disagree with aspects of the argument are willing to listen because they recognize the profound frustration beneath it. Now, of course, this doesn't imply that every claim made is automatically valid, and I think it's crucial for people to avoid slipping into irrational paranoia or simplistic explanations for complex political issues. Not every governmental failure is a result of some hidden scheme. Sometimes governments are just inept, chaotic, divided, or driven by conflicting interests clashing simultaneously. Yet, at the same time, establishment figures make a grave error when they bluntly reject every public concern as unreasonable without addressing why so many feel alienated to begin with. Distrust doesn't just appear out of thin air, it grows when institutions consistently lose trustworthiness in the eyes of the public. And once enough lose faith in these institutions, societies quickly become unstable. That's the perilous avenue modern politics is veering toward at present. People aren't merely politically divided anymore. Many reside in entirely different realities, distinct facts, separate media realms, differing beliefs about power dynamics, and disparate understandings of truth versus propaganda. And honestly, whether you agreed with George Galloway and Dan Bilzerian's conversation or thought some of their points were overblown, the reason this discussion resonates is that it taps into the pervasive climate of mistrust enveloping the nation. People feel fatigued, overwhelmed by spin, overwhelmed by propaganda, overwhelmed by constant strife, overwhelmed by the sense that ordinary citizens are consistently belittled while influential individuals covertly shield one another. When enough people start feeling that simultaneously, political systems delve into seriously precarious terrain. Anyway, folks, share your honest thoughts down in the comments, because I'm genuinely eager to hear different takes on this. Do you think Americans are becoming too skeptical and distrustful of institutions? Or is this skepticism justified after years of political lapses, media scandals, economic strain, corruption, and unending wars abroad? And before you head out, remember to hit that subscribe button and turn notifications on, because I'm aiming hard to hit 1,000 subscribers by the end of this week. Every subscription truly helps this channel grow more than you realize. Also, drop a like on the video, because it really helps spread these conversations to more people via the algorithm. I appreciate every single one of you for tuning in, and I'll catch you in the next one.